Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the His and Her Rewatch podcast, where we watch movies that he likes.
And watch movies that she likes.
I'm the His, Caleb, and with me, as always, my loving wife, the Her, Megan. Megan, welcome back to another episode.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Here we are again.
Here we are again.
Do you know what episode we're on? Take your time. Take your time. This is riveting podcasting. You pausing for 45 seconds to think. No, this is actually number 7.
Oh, wow.
Number
I
7.
knew it was an odd number. At least I knew that.
Well, yeah, because it's a his
That's
episode, right?
That's right.
His episode. So we're at episode 7. It's exciting. I got to choose this one and made you suffer through it.
That you did.
All right. Before we get into all of that, we'll do some little stuff. You want to talk about our social medias?
Yeah, so we have Facebook and Instagram, and Instagram is at His and Her Rewatch. That's AND for the and then Facebook is same thing, His and Her Rewatch, but with the and symbol in between the his and the her. And we also have Google Podcast now.
Yeah. So
which by the time you'll be listening to this, we would have had it for a few weeks now.
Yeah, probably about 2 weeks, I think. Yeah, we got we're hitting all the majors now.
Yeah, you were super proud about that one.
I was proud about that one. I couldn't figure out what the world was wrong, and I figured it out. So we're on Apple Podcasts, where we get most of our stuff. We have
that's where most people listen to. Let's be honest.
Yeah, it is. I got a couple of Spotify listeners. I saw a couple extra downloads on that. So we got
Nice.
Apple Podcasts, Podbean, who is our provider, who puts that out on the other sites. But it's Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and the newly added Google Podcast.
So is that all of them now? Can we say
It's
we
all the
hit
majors.
all of them?
I think there's other ones you can add, but I'm
really?
like, I don't even know what some of them are. But
I mean, everyone listens on Apple Podcasts. Let's be honest. That's where it originated from, or at least that's where I think it originated from. I could be completely wrong.
Well, that's just everybody has an Apple iPhone except for the weirdos.
Yeah.
They have the
Now you just offended like half of the
It's
population.
probably like 10%.
Really? I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah. So, anyways, I hope you find us out there. Hope it's easy to find and listen to. So, we'll move right along. So, I do want to ask you. Since last week we talked about all your movies that you like to rewatch, what are the TV shows that you can turn on and like to rewatch?
Yeah,
besides The Office.
Yeah, The Office is always on. Shoot, I knew you were going to ask me this question. Now I forgot.
Oh, you said you had it.
Well, I did. I had a couple, but they're really not. Okay, so I guess shows that I would watch by myself.
Yeah.
Kind of like reruns. I would do Catfish is one that I like to rewatch a lot.
Oh, Catfish on MTV.
Yeah, Catfish. I'm a huge Catfish fan. I've been watching it since it came out. I would say, I don't know, like, because Catfish is kind of like The Office, I guess. I'm not like
That's
a
a reality
similarity.
show.
I know, but I mean, like, you can just come in and like kind of understand what's going on. And Catfish like one-offs, like the episodes are one-offs, so it's not like it's like an ongoing story.
Oh,
but
okay, I see what you're
but like a lot of times I will rewatch shows, but you have to like start from the very beginning to rewatch those, if that makes sense. So a big one for me is I love watching Gossip Girl. That's a big guilty pleasure of mine.
Didn't you get Ella into that show?
I did. No, not
Gossip Girl?
Gossip Girl, not yet. It's not.
That's not
ready
age
for her.
appropriate?
No, definitely
okay.
not. But I think I've seen the whole show 3 times.
Okay.
Yeah, I just love that show. I think it's really, really well written. But there was another one that I was trying to think of.
I know
I'll go to you first while I think about it.
Think about it. I know I like to watch. I mean, everybody likes to watch The Office. It goes on everywhere. Parks and Rec.
Oh yeah,
is
that's
a really
another
good one.
Yeah.
And then I always like How I Met Your Mother. That's one of my favorite sitcoms.
It doesn't come on TV anymore.
No.
And they took it off Netflix, I think, right? Is that where
I don't
we're
know.
watching
I can't.
it?
I know it's on Hulu.
Okay, maybe that's where we were
was it
watching
one time?
it. I'm not sure.
And then I rewatched Smallville. I think I've mentioned that on this podcast before. I think I'm probably on the 3rd time rewatching.
And The Flash too, right? Oh, you watched that?
I will watch those the first several seasons of Arrow and The Flash from the CW are really good seasons. It gets a little not as good in the later seasons, but the first several seasons I love to watch those of Arrow and Flash, and Smallville's a guilty pleasure. So
yeah, I thought of the other one.
go,
I know you're gonna give me a huge eye roll, but I love watching America's Next Top Model. I don't know why. I love watching it. I love watching it now because I watched it when it was actually on air a long time ago. But now I rewatched a lot of them last year and the year before. As a photographer, it's very interesting to watch and kind of look at it from that perspective. So yeah, that's another one that I would love. I just love rewatching. I find it hilarious.
Okay, that's fine. You do like those reality shows.
I do. I love watching the reality shows. To
Competition shows.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're just easy to get into. They're not. It doesn't take a lot of thinking, and it's one of those. My schedule is so packed as it is. I just want to sit and veg out and not really think, and that's why I like to watch them.
That's what those shows are for.
Yes, and I like to multitask while I watch shows too, so that also helps. That's not a lot of thoughts. But yeah, so moving into our movie of today, or of this podcast.
Yep. The one we're highlighting tonight and talking about.
So what movie was that you picked?
Yeah, so I picked Office Space.
Office Space, yes. So
I didn't even write that down nowhere. I'm like looking at my notes.
You forgot?
Well, it's just not right here.
Well, it's
I usually title
it Office Space or The Office Space?
No, it's just Office Space.
Okay,
Office
that was
Space.
my first question was because I kind of got confused with The Office, which this is not. So, okay, so I have a question.
Okay.
I think I know the answer to this, but I wasn't sure. What was your first job?
Oh, my first job. Oh,
Your first ever job.
My first ever job.
Like legally.
legally and illegally, because I did sheet metal work. I worked at.
Okay.
I did that for years because my dad was president of a sheet metal company, and I started working in the shop when I was 13 years old, and like I said, illegally because I just got paid under the table. And then I worked sheet metal until I went off to college, and then came back and.
Yeah, that was like almost 10 years, right?
Well, I did that for several years, and then I went off to college, and then came back and worked at a cell phone store for a year, and then I worked back in sheet metal for, I think it was another 2 years, and then that's when my dad started his own company, and when I started working in the office then, and so I've been doing that for, was it 13 years almost? So
Gotcha.
So yeah, I did sheet metal work for a long time.
Yeah, you didn't have too many jobs. Like you held a job for a really, really long time.
yeah. I didn't venture out into the looking for jobs in my own different careers.
Did you ever have to do that? Like have a resume?
I've had a resume. I've written them out for different situations, and I think I put it out there before, resumes, but. I've never had to. I've never had
legit interview.
Yeah, not when I was in college, but those were like I did a restaurant job and I did just another small business. I just worked for another small business, and it was nothing. Yeah, I never had to go search out these big corporation jobs and try to get a lot of people have to do that, but I never had to do that. What about you?
Yeah, I've had a lot of weird random jobs. Most of them you're aware of. My very first job ever, I worked at Atlanta Bread Company. That was the worst job ever.
Oh my gosh.
The work was fine. The staff was just horrible. But I was 16 when I had that job. I think I worked there for about I don't even know if it was a full year. I think it may have been like 6 to 7 months. And then I forget how. Oh, I had a friend, and she was in my youth group. She was a youth leader. She got me a job at a local,
the bakery, basically.
Yeah, I guess bakery kind of thing. She's a big deal. It's very Vera. She used to have a shop where she made cakes, and then she had like a cafe. And I worked there through high school, and then after I graduated for a couple of years when I was in college. And then I moved on from there. I worked at your dad's work for a little while as well. When we first started dating, I worked there. And then
You were there when I was in college.
yeah, for 2 or 3 years I worked there. That was fun. There's a lot of just mindless things. And then I ended up leaving there. Your dad was like, you got to go do your own thing, which it was fine. I understood. It wasn't for me. And so was it there that I went to the answering service job? I think it was.
I think so.
I don't think there was anything in between that. But that was my first interview job.
You were still in college.
I was, yeah.
So
that was my first.
You had like weird hours.
Yeah, so
that was right after we got married.
I think like when I was in the moment with that job, I hated it. I mean, I liked it. It was okay. But looking back, that was probably the coolest, randomest job. So it was an answering service. I would go at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and I would work my shift, and I would be done by like 10 a.m. And so I would come home, go to like take a nap, and then sometimes I had classes. But
like, that was our first year of marriage because you still had another year of college when we were married.
Yeah, a year or two, I think, maybe 3.
No, I don't know.
Yes, it took me 5 years to get to college. It was a long, long road, but I worked full time, so that was one reason why. But yeah, so I think I worked that job maybe not even a year. And then I worked my last job, which was at the Burn Center. I was a transcriptionist.
You did that for several years.
Yes, I did that for almost 7 years.
Was it that long?
Mm-hmm. It was a long time. And I loved that job. I really did love that job. It was super easy. I worked a year at home after we had our daughter. And then...
that was probably your biggest job as far as the biggest company you worked for.
Yes, yeah.
That was probably more of the corporate world that
we had HR,
about.
we had coworkers, we had
several bosses.
Yes, we did. We did have several bosses. We had nurses, doctors. But yeah, that was a really cool job. I learned a lot about medical. I went in with no experience whatsoever. I typed fast. That was pretty much my only prerequisite going in. But she liked that about me, is that I was very teachable.
Yeah, you were trainable.
Yeah, I'm a good speller. So that was part of it. But yeah. And then I ended up having to leave that job because we ended up having a third child. And then I ended up being a stay-at-home mom. And then now I'm an entrepreneur.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you've had a lot more work experience than I have.
Yeah. Kind of random. But
you've gone from mindless data entry work to running your own business and
this is true.
And doing all kinds of stuff. And
yeah.
So
I did. That's why I liked working there, because it was mindless work. I would listen to books on tape. I would watch shows, and because it was. I did do transcription in the beginning, and then ended up we just had a service that did it for us. So
I did all the editing.
Yeah, we did editing, and then we had data entry and spreadsheets and all that kind of fun stuff. But yeah,
good times.
Yeah, but now let's talk about the movie. The Office. No, not The Office. I knew I was going to do that.
You wish. The Office.
Yeah, God,
the
Office the movie. Oh, yeah, I wish it was Office the movie.
We're talking about
Office Space.
Office Space.
From Mike Judge, creator of Beavis and Butthead and co-creator of King of the Hill, comes a movie about people who go to work. Who are part of a team.
And remember, next Friday is Hawaiian Shirt Day.
Okay, but I could set the building on fire.
Who respect their boss.
We need to talk about your flair.
Well, I have 15 pieces on.
15 is the minimum. Brian, for example, has 37 pieces of flair on today. And a terrific smile.
And need to escape.
I don't like my job.
This is the 1999 cult classic Office Space. We'll run through some of this. I found some stuff interesting and how it came about to be a cult classic. But this was released in February 19th, 1999 with a budget of $10 million. And you can tell it's a low budget movie.
That's low budget?
$10 million. Yeah, that's low budget.
They spent $10 million on this film? It didn't have very many scenes or very many different sets.
Yeah. For sure. And This movie
Seems kind of high.
This movie bombed at the box office. It ranked like 130th in 1999.
Wow.
It made only $12 million.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Ouch.
it bombed. They were hoping it would get the director and stuff thought it would be a good word of mouth movie, but it just never could get traction and stuff. So
So how did it become a cult classic if it bombed?
well, good question. Thanks for setting up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm honestly curious.
Yeah. So what it looked like happened was that Comedy Central, the television broadcasting Comedy Central, they picked up this movie and they
Just
ran
played
it.
the heck
They-
out of
They
it.
played it a lot, and it got a lot of traction. And they released, because it was doing well on Comedy Central, they released the home video, and it did really well as a home video release. So
That's so interesting.
so it became, because of Comedy Central, it became like a cult hit. I thought that was pretty interesting. I won't get into the movies that came out in '99, but there's some good movies that year. But I looked at it, and I looked at some lists and stuff, and I saw some lists that it was probably one of the top like 15 to 20 movies of 1999 now. Like
Right,
how they ranked
now,
it. Now it
yeah.
is. So then it bombed, but it's become a cult hit, and
That's
a lot of people like it.
interesting.
And it's got some smart comedy, but it's not big budget, not big names. And there's some reasons, I think that might be one of the reasons that it didn't do so well. But there's some reasons I think that it didn't quite do well at the box office. But now this is obviously a satire comedy, more like a dark satire comedy.
Yeah.
And do you enjoy those type of movies?
I yes and no. It's kind of a hit and miss for me. Obviously, I love The Office, which is kind of the same. It's not dark, but it is satire. I guess I don't know. It
They're
depends.
hit and miss for me too, I would think.
Yeah.
And obviously for us, we do not like rated R movies. A lot of, excessive cussing and
Yeah.
nudity,
Or just depressing.
or anything that's very it's like raunchy. We're not really into the raunchy comedies and stuff. And some of the dark side of comedies are hit and miss. But so.
So had you seen this? You said you saw this before, or are you not sure?
Well, looking
Or
back,
on
I was
TV?
trying. Yeah, I think that's where I saw it, because I was trying to think where I would have seen it, and I'm sure it was on Comedy Central or in the television version of the movie, and so that's really the only. I don't remember when I've seen it and how it became when I saw it all the way through, or how I enjoyed it, but I just remember there's several scenes in here that just play over and over in my head, and this movie kind of reminds me. And you couldn't attest to this, but it kind of reminds me of like a movie that would get better as you watch it, kind of like Zoolander or like Napoleon Dynamite or something. That it's just that like weird comedy that's just smart writing, that then you kind of understand it better as you see it several times, and you're like, that's pretty funny. And
I can see that. Yeah.
that's what I mean. I remember like Zoolander was a big one that I remember walking out on that movie.
Really?
Yes, I went with some friends, and it was not what we expected. I think a lot had to do with it, and then we walked out of the movie, and I don't ever walk out of movies.
Yeah.
And then later on, I'm like, this is a funny movie. This is
Yeah,
actually
I've always
really
loved
good.
Zoolander.
Yeah, I know it's one we like to watch together. I do believe that I watched it on TV and all the time. So you had never seen it before, correct?
No, I have never seen any clips. I've never seen. I mean, I probably have seen like a meme.
Right.
I know some of the quotes, but not really. No.
Not really. Yeah, that's fine. That's what this is about, right? Finding good movies. Just to be clear, I do not think this is like a 5-star hit movie. This isn't on the same level, but I think this is a good, funny, simple comedy that's just kind of really relatable to a lot of people, and just the understanding the way they get the corporate culture and office culture and how they hit on so many levels, I think is hilarious. And it's just, I think that's why a lot of people relate to it. They're like,
Right,
this
yeah.
is right on. This is dead on.
Yeah.
This is
They feel like Peter.
yeah, exactly. So now Mike Judge, he was the writer and the director of Office Space. I almost said The Office. You got me messed up. I almost said
I'm
The
sorry.
Office. No, but he was the writer and director of Office Space. He hasn't done very much outside of, he was the creator of Beavis and Butthead, and he was the co-creator of King of the Hill, the TV shows. And
I did know that.
You did know that?
I did know that,
I think it
yeah.
did say in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
I did notice that when it came
Which
across the
I
movie.
kind of understand.
Yeah.
I get it now.
Yeah. So he actually, I don't know if you saw this, but he plays the manager of the, what's that place called? The Tchotchkes?
Tchotchkes, yeah.
Tchotchkes, yeah. He's the manager. He plays the manager that talks about the flare.
That's hilarious.
That's him.
That's funny. I didn't know that.
Yeah. I didn't know that either until I looked it up. So that's funny. Then we have Ron Livingston as Peter. All right, we'll try to move on. We have dogs barking in the background and growling, so hopefully it doesn't pick up on the microphone. But Ron Livingston as Peter. A lot of this cast I noticed are not big names. Even now, they're not really big names.
Mm-hmm.
You have Ron Livingston. He was he's known for the Conjuring adaptation. He was in Band of Brothers, which that's one miniseries I really need to go watch. When they casted this movie, they were unsure. They kept going back and forth and trying to get some big names. Like they were wanting to go after Matt Damon at the time, but Judge saw Ron Livingston's audition tape and said that he was great for the part. So Matt Damon could have done the role. It probably would have been a lot more expensive. They probably had to go up on their budget.
Yeah, I would think so.
So yeah, they had Jennifer Aniston. She came in and played Joanne, and she was the only household name that's on this. They needed a household name, so they got her.
Well, did you know that she filmed her part in 2 weeks?
Really?
Yeah, I
did
read
not know
that.
That's funny.
Yeah, I read that. She filmed all of her scenes in 2 weeks.
I would be curious on how.
Probably
how
because she was
long-
on Friends. So she probably
that's
had,
right, yeah.
she had to leave Friends to come do this.
That's true.
I don't know
She could have
where-
been on summer break at the time or whatever.
Could be, yeah. And I guess, Friends is filmed in New York, right?
I don't know where it was filmed. Actually, it could have been all.
I think Friends is filmed in New York.
I mean, it's based in New York. I don't know where it probably is.
Yeah, it's probably. Yeah, I think it is, or maybe on a set.
Right.
But this
Most
film
of it is.
this movie, Office Space, was filmed in Texas. Was filmed in a office space in Texas.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out what office it was in, but
Mm-hmm.
it didn't say. It just gave an address. So I guess it was really like an office space.
Yeah, it was an office space. Yeah.
For like temp work or something.
Now, what is your favorite Jennifer Aniston movie?
Oh man,
She's been in some
Put you
good
on the
stuff.
spot.
Yeah, so she's done movies like Murder Mystery, which is a pretty good hit
Yeah.
on Netflix. They have the Murder Mystery 2 as well. We Are the Millers, Horrible Bosses, Just Go With It, The Breakup. She was in Bruce Almighty. And then obviously she was on Friends from 94 to 2004. She was in 234 episodes
Yeah.
of the Friends. That's still mind-boggling to me.
Yeah, and we're not super big Friends fans. Like
No.
we'll watch it if it's on, but it's not like
And I appreciate the
the
show, but
yeah.
like I
I
said,
think we
I'm
kind of
not-
missed that. Like we grew up watching How I Met Your Mother. Like I mean, not grew up, but that was what we watched
Yeah.
when we were. I feel like of Friends' age, if that makes sense. Like
this
in
movie,
our 20s.
right? Because you graduated in 2004 when this movie. I mean, when Friends finished airing,
Right.
And then we kind of got into our own sitcoms that we liked together after we got married, and we were like kind of settled down and had our more home life. Because I think before that, working in social life and school and everything like that, and
Yeah.
now we can go back and appreciate that.
But yeah,
But,
I've watched many episodes of Friends though.
yeah.
Especially, sad thing to say is I used to love watching Nick at Night, and then Friends ended up going on Nick at Night, which made me feel really old. I was like,
Yes.
wow,
Yes.
Friends is on Nick at Night now.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know if you had a favorite Jennifer Aniston.
No, I mean they're all good. Of course, I love Bruce Almighty, and I love the one. Is that the one where she plays Polly, and she's with oh shoot, is that the one? What was it called? I don't remember.
Along Came Polly?
Yes, that one.
Oh, Along Came Polly. I don't remember seeing that.
Along Came Polly.
Who is that in that one? I'm gonna look this up. This is Ben Stiller.
Ben Stiller. That's
Oh,
right.
I think I have seen that.
Yes, you have. We've seen
Yes,
it together.
yes,
See,
yes.
she's got the ferret in the picture on there.
That's right. Okay, I'm with you now.
I don't know if it's a blind ferret, it's just like a dumb one, but it like runs into things. And then like he can't have spicy food. Anyways.
Yes, yes.
She's just really funny.
She
in that
does make
movie.
a lot of those. I guess they're kind of like rom-coms. They're
Yeah.
comedies.
She has a
She's the
lot of raunchy satire there. Like the past ones, like Horrible Bosses is so raunchy.
We Are Millers is.
Yeah, we haven't even seen that. Well, I've seen bits and
I've
pieces
seen
of it on
pieces
TV.
of it. Yeah, she's done a lot of work. I mean, she's definitely out of the cast of Office Space. She is by far the
The most well known, yeah.
most well known and got a lot of stuff. And most of the cast, looking through it, most of them do a lot of like voiceover work nowadays. So kind of interesting. We have Stephen Roth as Milton.
But I was told that I could listen to the radio at a reasonable volume.
He's so funny, Milton.
He is so funny.
And he plays in Dodgeball. I think he plays the same character in Dodgeball. Don't
Probably.
They?
They said that when I was reading about this movie, they said that the glasses he was wearing, he couldn't see a thing out of them.
Yeah.
Because they were real. And
That's
so
hilarious.
he couldn't see anything.
But it's so funny. That's so funny because his eyes are noticeably larger.
Oh, for
like
sure. It's
magnified.
magnified, yeah.
It's so magnified and it's comically magnified. So it's great. And then Dietrich's Bader as Lawrence, the neighbor. He's been in a lot of stuff. He does a lot of sitcoms
Yeah.
and stuff. He was in the Drew Carey Show, and he was the dad in American
funny guy.
Housewife. He was in Miss Congeniality too. And I was trying to remember what part he played in Napoleon Dynamite. But he was in Napoleon Dynamite. Napoleon Dynamite, for the audience, is one of me and Megan's movies.
Well, also one of the first movies we saw when we were dating.
It was the first movie we went and saw at the theater together
Yeah.
when we dated. And we didn't know anything about it. We're like,
No.
I'm like, wow, what a great.
So we know we both liked it, and it was super dumb, and we belonged together.
Yeah, that's right. Has a special place in our heart.
He was one of the guys that I think it was when she was selling the Tupperware or something. I think that's what it was. He was one of the
he was
husbands.
the workout guy.
Workout guy. Yeah,
He was
that's
the
right.
workout guy. That's right. That's right. He had American flag pants.
Yes.
Is that right? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
And like
I'm
the
with
white
you.
beater shirt. I think
Yeah,
or a white shirt.
some kind of white
Yeah.
shirt, workout guy. So that's hilarious. So yeah, he does a lot of good supporting roles like that. He's one of the guys you see in it. You know, he just nails his part. We'll get back in. We'll go into some of the other guys when we talk about them. So let me ask you how you felt about the movie. This is your moment to bash or be nice or praise the movie. I don't know.
Well, I felt like I just didn't get it.
Didn't get it? Okay.
I didn't get it. I mean, it has funny parts. I have some memorable scenes I wrote down. There weren't very many laugh out loud moments for me. And I don't know. I was like, sometimes I'm like, I feel like, okay, is this movie just above my head? Did I just not get it? Or is it really just stupid? You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I love stupid movies. Obviously, we like Napoleon Dynamite. We like Zoolander. We like The Office. Those funny, just dumb movies. So that's why I just couldn't figure out why I didn't like it. I think a lot of it was just really dry. And I guess it's not slapstick humor.
Yeah, definitely not slapstick. It's just kind of a smarter comedy.
Right, which makes me feel like I'm just not.
Well, I don't think it's
I just
that.
don't
And
get it.
maybe it has to do with how it's relatable, and maybe
and I've worked in the office. Like, I totally get it. But I mean, I guess because.
maybe it's the presentation of the movie.
Well, it's just because to me, it's just been done before. Like, maybe back in 1999, you know, it was funny and original. But to me, it's like, okay, yeah, paper jam in the copier. Haha. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
That's been done. Like, people always talk about that. That's just part of being in the office, you know.
Right.
But
it's the reaction, it's the how people feel, and the relatability to some of that. And then, you know, that part isn't the funniest parts, but it's
like,
getting that culture.
I found those funnier. Like, the little moments were funnier than the plot. Like, the plot to me, I just did not get it. I just didn't get it. I just don't understand. Like,
Which part? The part that he gets hypnotized and doesn't care anymore, or the part where they're trying to steal the fractions of money from the company? Or,
both, I think. Like, I get the point where he's miserable. He wants to get hypnotized, blah, blah, blah. I didn't really understand what he wanted to get hypnotized for. But then he gets hypnotized he ends up just like, I don't know. Like, I don't even know like what his attitude was. It was kind of like he just didn't care anymore. But it wasn't even that he didn't care about his job. He didn't care about anything. Like, he didn't care about embarrassing himself in front of, Jennifer Aniston. He didn't care about.
Well, he didn't care about how, if she wanted to, like, he liked her and he wanted to ask her out. And so, but he was too worried about it. And then because he was hypnotized, he's like, I don't care. Like, I'm going to go talk to her. And if she comes, if she doesn't, I don't care. That's what I'm doing.
And I get that. I got the whole part. I got the whole part of him like not caring about The Office. I got that, and I thought that was funny. I guess I didn't care. I didn't understand the purpose. You're right. I don't understand the purpose of them stealing the money. I just didn't think it was very funny.
Okay, that's fine.
I just didn't think it was funny. I mean, I thought it was really stupid.
The idea of it isn't the funny part. It's the execution and how they get away with it and gets covered up.
Like, I feel like
and all
it
that.
could be funny. It just wasn't delivered in a way that I found funny. You know what I mean? Like, I find that ironic and kind of quirky and goofy and whatever, but it just doesn't. I don't know. Maybe it was the actors. Maybe it was the writing. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know what it was. Like, I feel like someone else could have done this movie better. And that sounds really harsh, but I just feel like, and again, maybe it's the times. I don't know. Here we are, almost 20 years later, and it's just not funny to me.
It's not funny.
But it did have some good scenes. Like, I liked the hypnotherapy scene was funny.
I think that was funny. I think the idea.
Yes, that was pretty funny. I like that.
The idea of being hypnotized, and then the person that's hypnotizing to get you out of the hypnosis, like, something happens, like in this case, dies, and so you're not able to take out. That's just funny idea. That's funny.
I found it funny that he just kind of, the hypnotherapy just wore off.
Yeah, I guess it just wore off. And I don't know if that's how hypnotism works. I mean,
I don't know. I mean, if you believe in that kind of thing,
yeah,
I don't
something
know.
took him out of it.
Most people don't. Most people believe that you won't ever snap out of it until like someone says the code word or whatever.
Right.
Or,
well, you just said I snapped my fingers, and then you go back, and then you feel much better, and then he just never did it, which is funny. That's just good comedy.
And I like that. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
I thought that was original.
I think your reaction during that part was funny because you were like, is he gonna die? Is he having a heart attack? And you're just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, I thought that was pretty funny. And I really like the scene with the Bobs and Peter.
Okay, every scene with the Bobs is the best.
I love the Bobs.
The Bobs are the
so
best.
funny.
And okay, I'll say that I appreciated the Bobs a lot more this time watching it than before. I think I was like, the Bob scenes are the best.
Yeah,
They're the best scenes.
They're so likable. Like, and I think it's a nice contrast with what's his name, Leonard? No,
which one?
Lombard.
Yeah.
I know it started with an L. Sorry. It's a nice contrast with Lombard because Lombard is so exhausting and just disgusting. You don't even want to.
And he played that so well. Like, he plays it perfect. To like where you dislike him. It's like, right, yeah.
Yeah, the way he talked.
Need you to move your desk back a little more.
Well, no, it was just a lip smacking.
And then,
I couldn't take it anymore.
Yeah. Well, I'm just not sure about that right now.
And it was so condescending the way he acts and stuff to everybody.
So the Bobs were like a nice, fresh air.
Fresh air, yeah.
Yeah, but no, I loved how honest Peter was, and he wasn't, rude. He was just honest, and they loved it.
And they were like,
That's my only real motivation, is not to be hassled. That and the fear of losing my job. But Bob, that'll only make someone work just hard enough not to get fired.
He is upper management material.
But I agree. Like, he's not one of the minions. He's not just following along with whatever Lombard said. Well, I mean, at the time he did. He didn't. But before he was. But I think
and he puts all the dirty laundry out. He puts all the dirty laundry out there. He's like, I come in 15 minutes late. I come in the back door.
I think they appreciated his honesty.
He's like, honestly, I only do about 15 minutes of actual work.
And that's pretty fair. That's pretty accurate for most offices. I think that most employees only do about 15% a week.
That's so funny. I have a quote from a friend of mine. I told him we were doing this movie. Tim,
Okay. Oh, yeah.
I told Tim we were doing this movie, and I said, "Do you have any?" Because he said that he had been in the corporate world like that, the big corporations and stuff. So he says, "Office Space understands corporate culture and shows it for its silliness that it is, and I'm not jumping to conclusions."
I did like that part. I really did. I got that. That was funny. And I thought that was pretty funny.
And
but
then I did ask him after that, I said, which part is the most accurate? And he says, the gross inefficiencies for the company, particularly the sales guy who takes the orders from the engineers and gives them to the customers, but he doesn't actually do it. He has secretaries that do that, and he has people skills. Dang it.
Oh gosh, I love that. I love that part.
Yeah, that's another Bob scene that just they all nail it.
Well, look, I already told you. I deal with the goddamn customers so the engineers don't have to. I have people skills. I am good at dealing with people. Can't you understand that? What the hell is wrong with you people?
No, and I love that character. He's probably one of my favorite characters.
He was great.
He hit for every time for me.
I don't know. Did he reminded me of Anger from Inside Out?
Yeah.
I don't know why he did. He just reminded me of Anger.
It's like Anger trying to be happy.
Yeah. He had that good look and just running across the field to go tell them for no point. He can't just. I don't understand that part. Like, why was he running across the field to go tell the guys that they were bringing in the Bobs?
I don't know. Every scene he was in, it was just pure gold. Yeah. I just loved him. He was so good.
Jumping to conclusions. He's like, that's the dumbest idea. I know. Then
he actually made the game. But then I also really loved the iconic printer smashing scene.
Oh yeah,
I thought that was pretty good. I've wanted to do that to several printers in my life.
Hey, look, all I know is watching that. I said everybody needs a friend like Peter that will steal something when you're in your worst moments. He will make you feel better about yourself. He will steal that printer. He'll take you out there and let go of some anger.
Yeah,
so.
I did love that. I think that was probably what stuck out to me the most beyond the whole hypnotherapy and just getting back at the office and corporation was I loved his friendship with his two friends. Because he could have easily just taken that upper management position and just been like, peace out, bye guys. Have a nice life.
Yeah.
That could have been the route they took this movie. But no, he stood up for his friends no matter what and helped them stick it to the man, I feel like.
Yeah, he was trying to figure out a way to make their lives better and not have to work. Not have to worry about working. Mm-hmm. Do the whole Superman 3 thing.
Yeah. I did get that one.
But it's so funny because like that's a good comedy because they do something and then they're actually saying this isn't a new thing. This has actually been played out in movies. So they're not like it's a new idea. But then just the fact that it doesn't work. I mean, this works perfect for comedy. It's just It doesn't work. And the TPS reports.
Now, are you going to go ahead and have those TPS reports for us this afternoon?
The whole TPS reports.
And it's so exhausting.
It's a whole meme, yeah. With the idea of having several bosses and then just not letting it go. They do their job and just keep saying it. And that's what he says to the bosses. I have 8 bosses right now. Or the Bobs. He tells the Bobs, I have 8 bosses. The TPS reports are like a whole thing on the internet. I like when he comes in and just takes down the wall to his office. Then he gets a window. He's like, just drills up, takes out the screws.
And you never worked in a cubicle before, have you?
No, I've never worked
I have worked in a cubicle.
Yeah. Do you feel like doing that sometimes? Just knocking down the walls?
Actually, no. I would want to build another wall.
Build another wall? Take the door off and just build around it?
Because I had to share a cubicle. Because like the way our cubicles were, they weren't in like a big space like that. So normally I was just sharing a cubicle-ish space with someone else. So we would have like an entryway. And then it would go
side and a
left side and right side. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of times I wish I had a wall up so I could just have my own space.
Have enough space.
I didn't have
maybe
enough
if it was a window on the side, you would.
Maybe. And we did have bigger areas than they had in those cubicles.
Yeah.
But no, I would have rather just put another wall up.
Isolate me even more away from people. You don't have to hear that lady in the side saying payables. Well, she's something about the. Accounts payable. Hold, please.
Yeah.
That was so annoying.
Hold, please.
Hold, please.
Corporate accounts payable. Nina speaking. a moment?
The
I know. I used to have a. Maybe I won't say that.
Uh-oh. You gonna tell on yourself on a podcast?
Not
No?
on myself.
Need to move on or no? Do it.
no.
Say it.
I don't know who listens, so I don't
We have
want to
like
say.
5 listeners. I'm just kidding. Okay, we'll move on.
Yeah, we'll move on. I'll tell you
move
later.
on. Okay, tell me later. I'm writing it down.
So who was your favorite actor or character? I don't really have an actor. I have my favorite character.
I don't know. I've got to say the Bobs. Like I said,
Yeah.
looking at it. Like I said, every scene with them were great. The delivery was spot on. The writing was fantastic. Like the like we talked about the interview with Peter, but the whole fixing the glitch thing. For Milton's
Oh my
paycheck.
God.
That is hilarious.
That
Like,
was really funny. I just felt really sad.
It's so sad. But he's like, we don't, he said, he goes, we couldn't find where he actually works here. And turns out y'all laid him off 5 years ago. So, and there was an accounting problem. So he's been getting a paycheck. So we fixed the problem. And they're like, so they're like, so we let him go. No, we're just letting it work itself out.
Well, just a second there, Professor. We fixed the glitch.
It was
no, yeah, they have one of the best lines in the movie, which was, "We find it's always better to fire people on a Friday."
Yep.
And I would agree.
Yeah.
I would agree.
That is so
However,
true.
that's kind of mean to just like fire someone on their
On
weekend.
the way out the door.
Yeah,
Yeah.
on the weekend, like just ruin their whole weekend for them.
Yeah. Well, they have a lot less things that could happen. They're scared of.
Yes.
But the Bobs, the scene with the second time Peter goes and sees them is my favorite line from the movie, and I quote this all the time if somebody sets me up for it. But Bob Porter, he goes, "Looks like you've been missing a lot of work lately," and then Peter goes, "I wouldn't say I've been missing it, Bob."
They do a little chuckle.
Yeah, they all laugh in agreement.
Looks like you've been missing a lot of work lately.
I wouldn't say I've been missing it, Bob.
Good one.
Yeah.
But I always do that when somebody sets me up. They're like, "You missed this today." I'm like, "I wouldn't say I missed it."
Oh, that's where that's from. I
That's
thought
where that's
you were
from.
saying it.
I always
didn't
just
get
say
it.
that. So you hear me say that all the time.
I have, but I didn't.
That's what that's from.
I didn't. I was like, yeah.
I didn't say I've been missing it, Megan.
Now I can laugh along with you. I guess.
Now you know where it's from. Now you can roll your eyes even harder.
Yeah.
So
Well, I had two favorite characters. Was Milton and
he nails it.
and the guy that ends up breaking all of his bones. I forget his name, but the other is that his name Bob too?
No, that's Tom.
Tom?
Tom. Yeah.
Yeah, the guy that we talked about earlier that just is
Tom.
gold every time he's in any scene.
Yeah.
It's like he just like comes in like a hurricane and leaves like a tornado. It's
Yeah.
like
He does have a presence about him. His voice and
Oh,
he's just
yeah.
like he comes in like rah, 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 and then he's like gone. And
Yeah.
like his interview with the Bobs
Yes.
were so funny. And he's like, I got that quote right here. He goes, Well, look, I already told you I deal with the gosh darn customers, so the engineers don't have to. I have people skills. I am good at dealing with people. Can't you understand that? What the hell is wrong with you people?
as he's yelling at them. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's great. I love it.
I love that. But yeah, Milton has one of my favorite lines of the whole movie, which was at the very end, actually, when he says, "I asked for a Mai Tai, and they brought me a pina colada."
Excuse me, senor. May I speak to you, please? I asked for a Mai Tai, and they brought me a pina colada. And I said, no salt for the margarita, but it had salt on it. There's big grains of salt on Lo siento, but again, I won't be leaving a tip, because I could shut this whole resort down.
He mumbles under his breath the whole
Yes.
time. Yeah, let's talk about Milton for a second.
Okay.
Because I did find that like this movie was, the way it got started was the director Mike Judge. He wrote some shorts, and one short was about Milton, and
Okay.
he did a couple different shorts. I think one was on Saturday Night Live. I think it was like in the early 90s. And then I found this fact out. He says Milton was actually based on a former co-worker of Mike Judge that Mike Judge had worked with during his days as an engineer. One day, Judge went to the co-worker and asked him how he was doing. The co-worker began talking about how he was going to quit his job because he had been forced to move his desk around too many times.
But I said, I don't care if they lay me off either, because I told Bill that if they move my desk one more time, then I'm quitting. I'm going to quit. And I told Dom, too, because they've moved my desk 4 times already this year, and I used to be over by the window, and I could see the squirrels, and they were married, but then they switched from the swing line to the Boston stapler, but I kept my swing line stapler because it didn't bind up as much, and I kept the staples for the swing line stapler.
So, of course, that's the whole trope throughout the movie is him having to move his desk, and then he eventually moves to the basement, doesn't get his paychecks, and no one wants to talk to him. Nobody takes him serious. And
except for Peter. I thought that was funny. Peter, him talking to him on the phone.
Yeah.
And then him just telling him the whole thing. And he's like, okay, thanks. Talk to you later. Bye.
And he's like mumbling the whole time.
Yeah, and he just hangs up the phone.
Apparently, there's like 19 times that in the movie that he alludes to burning down the place.
No way.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's true or not.
I think I did catch one of them.
He caught it several times talking about it.
He talked about the end. Well, when he was on the beach, he said, I'll burn down the place. That's what he said. Yeah, I caught that one. I didn't catch the other one. But I guess that's because he already burned down the place. So then that reminded me of that.
All the mumbling. He's talking to Lombard and Peter at different times. Apparently he mumbles a lot of that stuff. So that's funny. But Milton, we already talked about his glasses and the whole stapler thing.
That was funny.
Was the whole deal, and which brings me to my best product placement.
Oh yeah, we forgot that in the last episode.
Which one? Which one would we do?
Moulin Rouge. I don't think there was one.
Was any.
Or Gladiator. There wasn't one in that one either.
Yeah, I just thought it was funny that Swingline, the brand stapler.
Oh yeah.
Was, and apparently Swingline had discontinued colored staplers a couple years before that, and then there was a high demand to bring colored staplers, particularly red staplers back. So they brought back colored staplers because of Office Space. Because of Milton, yeah. Then you have the whole Case of the Mondays gag, which was so funny.
Sounds like somebody's got a case of the Mondays.
That is funny.
And then Lawrence was like, no one would say that. He said, does anybody ever tell you, do you have the Case of the Mondays? He said, no, you get your butt kicked for that.
Oh, yeah, his neighbor, yeah.
Yeah, his neighbor, Lawrence. Yeah, Lawrence was great. I think the whole idea of hearing through a wall at an apartment is hilarious.
Yeah, after he says their whole plan to get back at the office, he's like, I didn't hear any of that.
Yeah, he's like, me too. I was wearing an oath too. Now, who was your least favorite character? We talked about the best. Who's your least favorite or worst acting?
Not worst acting, but, well, maybe that too. But the worst character had to be the restaurant server. I did not like that guy. He was really annoying.
Oh, yeah, I don't know his name.
I don't know. And actually, her boss.
Oh, yeah.
Is also Mike Judge, but his character was just annoying. Yeah. But I mean, it was funny because we've all had those bosses.
Yeah.
But that was also another one of my favorite scenes was when Jennifer Aniston flipped out on the boss. And,
yeah. About the flare.
Yeah, she has a good line too. She says, "I do want to express myself, okay, and I don't need 37 pieces of flair to do it."
And then she flicks him off.
Yes. Like, how many times have we ever wanted to do that and just walk out on it?
Exactly.
Yeah. And she had a lot of patience, too. That guy was relentless, and she was super nice.
About flair. Talking about flair.
Not about her serving abilities or being nice or getting the orders right and being fast. It was about her flair. That was all it was.
It's so funny. Because it's just like TGI Fridays.
Yes.
And so apparently, well, I was reminded of TGI Fridays a lot during that. And then I realized that this was based on, like, after reading up on it, it was based on.
That was right,
the TGI Fridays. And apparently.
We don't have a TGI Fridays here anymore, do we?
No, we do not. But apparently TGI Fridays changed their policy on flair after this movie.
Wonder why.
They kept getting flack about it. I do want to talk about how some of the things that didn't work. And one thing was, I think, one thing I thought that this movie could have done different that probably would have made it more successful is not being rated R. Because, I mean, there was, a little bit of cussing in it. And I think most of it came from the music, like the rap.
I read
stuff.
I read probably the same article that I guess you didn't catch, but they said that when the actors caught wind that the producers or the, what do you call it?
Studios or something?
Yeah, the studios were wanting the movie to be rated PG-13. And so when they caught wind of that, they put in the F word as many times as they could.
Oh my gosh,
yeah.
Really?
So they can make it rated R.
That's funny.
But yeah, you're right. The music was really bad.
Yeah.
They said they were trying to get the rap songs out of the paper scene or the printer scene. They were trying to take that song out of the movie, but I guess they ended up keeping it in. But
yeah. There were a couple of songs talking about the songs.
They probably had to change that for TV though.
Yeah.
They said the N word a couple of times.
Yeah, it was.
F word a lot.
I definitely would have liked the music to be different. That's not my style, but
it fit the scene though.
the feels good to be a gangster song. I think fit pretty good. There's some of them that fit good, but some of them were like overused. But I think if it was, and there was one part that was unnecessary nudity in it.
Yeah,
I'm like, I didn't even realize that was in there because I think I've watched it on TV all the time. But it was like for a moment, I'm like, it was not necessary. No. It could have been PG-13. It would have brought more people to the theaters, I'm sure. But I don't know for people, I don't understand the reason to make things rated R just to make it rated R. I never understood that. Like if it's for the plot, like Gladiator, because of how gory it was and stuff. But that's just my opinion. And then I think the marketing poster was terrible. And I think I saw that Mike Judge hated the poster, the guy with a bunch of Post-it notes on him. Like he hated that. He's like, "What is this? A
Post-it?
Yeah,
Post-it movie
or a office supply ad, or what is this?"
And that's not even like what their office did. You know what I mean? Like what their office did was with banks and money. So like it wasn't even about like
what is the most iconic thing, noticeable thing? Post-its. So
it would have been even funnier if it was just like a red stapler. Like at least that would be something that was in the movie.
Just have somebody from the movie.
I mean, now the poster is iconic, but that's just because of what I guess Comedy Central made it be.
That's what we see all the time, and that's it. But so I think those things probably hurt the movie. And then, I didn't understand. Like, okay, I was looking at it, and we did talk about a little bit of plot problems, but it's like, okay, so there's missing money in a company, like $300,000 just gone out in one day, and then all of a sudden there's a fire in the office to burn down the place. You don't think there's going to cause for a larger investigation? You're going to bring the FBI in?
Not suspicious at all.
Yeah, exactly. Not suspicious at all. So I thought it was funny. Stuff. Any other thoughts you had on it? Other things? There's I think there's just several just points through the movie that are just good comedy writing, but it wasn't knock your socks off comedy. It's just relatable to the office workspace. So I mean, I think that's why I enjoy it, because it's just a simple movie, simple comedy. So anyways, so we'll move on to the his and her ratings. So,
I've been looking forward to this.
I know you've been okay, I knew you weren't going to love this movie.
And why did you pick it?
Just because you
trying to even out the playing field.
Yeah. And you did give me Clueless, and that was a cult classic that I didn't really quite understand. This is kind of a cult classic comedy
I can see
that is kind of similar, low budget.
Yeah, but you already said you wouldn't give it a 5.
I wouldn't give it a 5.
I would give Clueless a 5.
I think it's just a fun movie to watch. But I mean, Gladiator, I'm not going to compare that to Gladiator. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyways, I digress.
Okay, so did we say that we are going to give movies 1s?
Sure. Is this a 1 for you?
Is it 0 the lowest or 1?
You can give it a 0 star.
I'm going to give it a 1.5.
A 1.5?
1.5.
Okay.
I kind of wish I didn't watch it, I'm going to be honest. I mean, I guess I am glad because I've always was curious, because I've heard a lot of people who like it or have just seen it and I've never seen it. So I guess now I can get it. It had some good parts. Like I said, the only really good character in the whole movie was the guy who ended up getting hit by a truck. Like, that was the only good character, and he wasn't in most of the movie, so maybe he should have played Peter. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, it was not for me at all.
I understand. I didn't expect it to be. I was trying to.
So you set me up to be bored.
I thought you would appreciate moments. I thought you'd feel similar how I felt about Clueless. But I mean, I knew there was a comedy that you hadn't watched, and maybe I would have surprised me or something.
It just wasn't even funny. Like, it just wasn't funny, and I guess I'm not smart to get it. That's okay. And I've even worked in offices. Like, I've worked in offices, and I've had corporations. And
I know this isn't your type of comedy. I do realize that.
I mean, it's like. The Monty Python, Monty Python, yeah, Monty Python and the Holy Grail. It's also not my type of movie.
No,
I can appreciate it for what it is, and I guess I can do the same for this. I can appreciate it, and I can say I watched it.
In all fairness, we did try to watch Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
We did
a couple weeks ago, and I wish I wouldn't have rewatched it because I like remembering it better than watching it. I was like, oh man, this movie does not do it for me anymore.
Princess Bride is way better.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Or Robin Hood Men in Tights. We brought that one up too. I was like, is that Robin? No, that's not Robin Hood Men. Is that Princess Bride? No.
So that's okay. I'll take the 1.5.
Well, thanks for being a lot nicer than I was, but also you understand.
I understand. I understand it's with your comedy. This wasn't a movie for you. I did want to find something that you had never seen before, and kind of since we're early into our podcasting, so I know I could do something like that you had never seen.
Well, thanks for evening it up for us.
Yeah, I go from a 4.5 with Gladiator to a 1.5 at Office Space.
That was being nice. I really wanted to give it a 1, but it's okay.
That's okay. It won't hurt you're not going to hurt my feelings. I'm not going to take it as personal.
Way to take it as a man, Caleb. Taking it as a man.
Okay. We'll move on. I know there are a lot of people that will disagree with you.
I'm sure, and that's okay.
Yeah.
I think they can understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it bombed at the box office, so I'm obviously not the only one that feel that way. And like you said, I do agree that I think it gets funnier if you rewatch it, but I just don't want to. I don't want to rewatch it.
No, I get it. Okay, so we'll actually, this is going to actually be a lot shorter than our last one. I expected it. It's like an hour.
It's a short movie.
It's a short movie. It's an hour shorter than Gladiator. It's going to end up being shorter podcast. That's okay.
Not too complicated of a movie.
No,
it's not. A lot of substance.
No, it's not. Yeah, I could probably talk to somebody that appreciated the movie, and we could just like really break down the comedy and different.
Oh yeah, and I'm sure there's a lot of meaning behind certain lines, and I know I even read like an article that how it was supposed to be relatable to like the military, and like satire was like it's supposed to represent how the military is, and
like I said, the grossly ineffective.
I guess I didn't get that at all, but I've never been in the military or been around anybody like that.
Yeah, the inefficiency of it, I think, is what a lot of people like you're talking about military and related.
So this probably has a lot bigger, deeper meaning than just watching it, and I can understand that. But
I got you. Okay, so you get to pick the next movie, and so I'm curious now after making me watch making you watch Office Space, if you're going to torture me or you're going to go for it this time.
I'm
going to
go for big guns.
Oh,
I gotta pull out the big guns. Okay. All right. So
and you didn't tell me what we were watching. Just so everybody knows.
Well, we chatted about a couple of them, so it's not gonna be
not
really
recently. I have no idea what you're gonna pick.
Okay, good. But yeah, so we're gonna watch You've Got Mail.
You've Got Mail.
Yes, and you've never seen it, right?
I've never seen it.
Never seen it.
Who's that? Is that Tom Hanks?
It's Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan.
Okay.
Yep, it's a 1999 film.
Oh, $99?
Yep, 99. I think 98. I think
98.
98. I'm sorry, yeah.
I'm looking it up right now so we can see where we can watch it. So anyways.
You can watch it on Prime and HBO Max.
Okay.
Or just now Max.
Max and Prime.
Max and Prime with the subscription. Or you can rent it on Apple and also on Prime.
There you go. Good job looking that up.
I sure
beforehand.
did.
Good job. So this has got Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks.
Yep.
I love the...
I know. That's what I told you. I'm pulling out the big guns for this one.
And you've got Mail, which is... I'm curious. I'm gonna enjoy this because of how it's taken it back in technology.
Yeah, taking us back to the AOL world,
Yeah.
youngins. This is AOL.
Oh my gosh! I saw somebody that runs a business
and has an AOL
and has
email.
at AOL.com.
Yeah. I've seen those too. Or I love. Yahoo's not as weird. I still think that's weird.
Yahoo and MSN or obviously Gmail or.
God, MSN.
My boss has an MSN account, which is it's kind of fine.
Yeah.
It's not as bad.
Most people have Gmails or their own servers, but
right.
Yeah, the AOL world.
Yeah,
it's gonna be fun.
You've got mail.
Yep.
That takes me back.
I think you're gonna like this one. I really think you are.
And this is a rom-com.
Yes, this is a rom-com. Yes, it is.
Romance comedy.
You can't go wrong with Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan, in my opinion.
I love Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Meg Ryan. Let's go for it. I'm looking forward to it. Open mind as always. I would not pick this movie for us to go sit down and watch, but that's the beauty of our podcast is we get to watch these things.
Yeah.
So,
I don't want to speak too soon, but I might get my first 4.
You're not expecting a 5 though.
Maybe. It's a 5 for me.
I think you need like a romance.
I doubt you would ever
romance action movie is what we really need to get me to a 5.
Yeah, I doubt you'd ever give a rom-com a 5. But I don't know. This is a really cute one.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. All right, we'll wrap it up. We'll make it an early evening for us. Not really, but it's still fun. So anyways, thanks for listening, you guys. Hey, make sure you go on and give us some 5-star reviews. Write the reviews. Everything help the podcast out. Tell somebody about the podcast if you're enjoying it. If you
follow
don't,
us on socials, like and comment on there. We're sharing fun little clips after we share our podcast, and then we're also going to be sharing some fun reels on Instagram.
Yeah, we have some fun stuff planned to advertise and look for what we're doing. So, anyways,
yeah, we really appreciate everybody listening and giving us all the feedback.
All of our loyal fans, all of our loyal listeners and fans. We really appreciate you guys.
Yes, thank you so much.
So, all right, y'all take care. Love you. Bye.
Bye. See you next time.